just making this more badass. Yo. You're doing what? A Friday the 13th tier list. A tier list. The thing with the rainbow on the side? You only thought of me. Yeah, but that's what, like, you know, those kind of YouTubers do. Oh, you already did one. Yeah, but Nightmare on Elm Street. How many people are watching? Alright, give me 5 minutes. Hello one, hello all, welcome to WILIscredia. I come to you as always as CP, otherwise known as Charles. And this is my first foray into the tier ranking.
Jason was my son, and today is his birthday.
I could not be happier to do something like this with Cody. It's an extreme pleasure and honor to do stuff like this, even when I'm not allowed to technically really edit doctor's orders. But I got some of it in there, didn't I?
I've got my hide key.
The tier system puts less pressure on, you know, this Sophie's Choice type situation where you don't have to really break your back over choosing one over another. You can put them in the same tier. And just like Cody's been doing, I have renamed my tiers from strongest to weakest. Absolute badass, or S, as they do it on the internet. I don't know why S is above A, but stupid, I guess. Stupid assholes. But I have Jason, who is, as long as we're talking Friday the 13th, he's the cat's pajamas, so he's the tippy top. In the second tier, we have Pamela, Jason's mommy, who managed to get a body count of her own. In the middle, we have Tommy Jarvis, which, you know, not really a bad guy, but took some fuckers out. Second from the bottom, which is not great, but I guess watchable, is Roy, who he himself has a body count, but he was catfishing. Roy was catfishing before catfishing was catfishing. And to catfish is Jason, like, dude, really? And last but not least, we have Ralph, Crazy Ralph, otherwise known as a category full of movies you'd really need to be crazy to want to throw on again. And of course, the speech that happens before all of these rankings will happen right now. These are just my opinions. I am not absolutely right. I am not absolutely wrong. The same can be said for those of you watching at home. You are not wrong. Just because I have something somewhere you wouldn't have it doesn't mean that you're wrong. And just because the other way around doesn't mean that you're right. These are all opinions. Art is subjective. Isn't that fun? We get to have our own opinions. And if we don't take the internet too seriously, we could have some fun and really discuss why we think things are different and better or worse, without calling somebody an asshole or making them quit the internet, because these are just movies. All right, so without further ado, here we go. My foray into the tier ranking list. I'm just going to go back to front, 1980 to 2009 in year release order. So first we have the classic, Friday the 13th, 1980. What an ironic situation I've put myself in. I'll put it in the Pamela category. It does star Pamela, even though Pamela didn't really have a name in that movie. Pamela's name was Mrs. Voorhees until part 4. That's when we found out her name was Pamela. There's some knowledge for you. 10 things you didn't know about Pamela. I could clickbait this shit forever. See, Cody, what you did? Make this shit contagious. Ending explained. Went wrong. I don't know. Egg. Whatever. Are those even still videos anymore? The egg videos? I'm old. Alright, so part 2. I wouldn't quite say it's as good as part 1, but not much worse. I do believe that Ginny is probably the strongest of the final girls. I will put it in the Tommy category. Next, we have Friday the 13th, Part 3, and it's unfortunate I have to judge this movie based on the fact that it's just the movie itself, because without watching it in 3D, it's awfully jarring. You can tell they were playing into a gimmick, but has some fun, has some flaws, but in the end, we get Jason's mask, and that reason alone to keep it right there in the middle. We'll put part 3 in there with part 2 in the Tommy category. Part 4, the final chapter. Many people consider this the quintessential Friday the 13th movie. I would not disagree. It is premier Friday the 13th. If you want to watch the best of what Friday the 13th has to offer, the final chapter is certainly one of the movies you'd want to throw on. Next, we have part 5. A movie that features a killer that is neither Pamela or Jason. Oh, and I'm doing it again. I don't think it's quite Crazy Ralph, but a movie that features Roy certainly belongs at home in the category of its namesake. You get some murder with your porn, or some porn with your murder. Okay, so this one is the least surprising to those of you who are familiar with this channel and me and everything about everything. I am the Jason Lives guy to a lot of people, and it's going up top. Jason Lives is my favorite Jason film. Although I do have moments, I have moods where I rather watch part 4 just to be a little more darker, a little more moody. I'll throw final chapter in, but for the most part, I think Jason Lives is the most well-rounded Friday the 13th movie, and it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is something that should be said about this entire franchise. Shouldn't take itself too seriously.
Some folks have a strange idea of entertainment.
Part 7. This is when we start going a little gimmicky, as if the catfishing and the Frankensteining wasn't gimmicky enough. We have Carrie versus Jason. I'm not the biggest fan Full confession from this Friday the 13th fan. The Kane Hodder films are not very high on my list. I don't like my Jason breathing quite heavily through his lungs, especially at a moment in the franchise when he's supposed to be a zombie. All that put aside, very, very good special effects in Part 7. I just, the acting's a little funky. Other elements I can do without. It's Roy. It's a Roy for me. Dog. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Jason takes the boat and then walks around Manhattan for a little bit before taking a bath and turning back into a child. This is Crazy Ralph. Other than a very tragic day in 2001, this could be the worst thing to happen to New York City. Friday the 13th, Part 8. Crazy Ralph. Jason takes the boat and then takes a acid bath. I'd give it so much more credit if they called it Jason Takes an Acid Bath. The first of the New Line films. Jason Goes to Hell. They couldn't call it Friday the 13th because New Line, they had a bunch of court stuff going on. Get used to that for the near future. Seeing Jason movies without the name Friday the 13th on them. I feel like there's a lot that's retcon. There's a lot that's it's ambitious, to say the very least. If you need a change of pace, it's a good movie, but considering the franchise is basically a bunch of movies doing the same shit, it really doesn't fit. And I'm a poet, didn't even know it. I'm gonna put it in Roy. It's not the worst thing in the world. Just not my cup of tea. Which is weird because I hate tea, so. Jason X, Friday the 13th, 10th film. Yeah, there's a kill or two that's pretty badass. That's about it. I could probably, if I wanted to watch Jason X and watch the stuff that I want to see, I would probably watch less than 5 minutes of Jason X. It is a Crazy Ralph for me. Freddy versus Jason. More gimmick. More gimmick, but at least this one had fun while somewhat taking itself seriously and adding to the lore somehow. Like the flashback scene, I thought was incredible, and it was such a refreshing thing to see. Jason being bullied, even though it was a dream sequence, and even though it was whatever the fuck it was, the awkward frame rate made it a little whatever, but fun time. It's not really a slasher. It's two giants that dick around and kind of whet your beak with slasher-like elements until it's just a action film at the end. And I'm gonna Pamela that shit. I have a good time. I understand. And again, it goes against what I was just saying about Jason Goes to Hell. Not really the same when you're talking about slasher films, but I'll take it. it certainly stays true to the franchise more than Jason Goes to Hell, and doesn't introduce new elements like special daggers and sisters and things like that. As a matter of fact, it expands on previous stuff. Like I said, showing you Jason as a child getting bullied, and that was it. I can't believe it. It took 11 movies for them to show us Jason as a child, and what that was like. They had him body jumping before they decided to do a flashback, which is just so. Oh, Friday the 13th, never change. No matter how much you try and fail. And lastly, but not leastly, certainly not to be confused with Jason Priestley, it is 2009's entry, the remake, Friday the 13th, 2009. This one is a little controversial. Cody likes this quite a bit, and I've said this many times. The prologue, everything you see before that title screen, some of the strongest stuff in the entire franchise. After that, we can kind of stop talking about certain things. But I'd go and watch that movie a hell of a lot more than I would everything Tommy and below, believe it or not. Friday the 13th, 2009, I'm going to put in the Pamela category. So that there it is. There's my tier. Two Jasons are Friday the 13th, Part 4 and 6. The two Pamelas are the original, Freddy vs. Jason, and the 2009 remake. Dead in the Middle, which is Tommy Jarvis. Friday the 13th, Part 2. Friday the 13th, Part 3. A little moldy. Roy. We've got Part 5. We've got Part 7. We've got Jason Goes to Hell. And two movies that have their death curse, as far as I'm concerned, is Jason Takes Manhattan, also known as Friday the 13th, Part 8, and the 10th entry, also known as Jason X. There it is, guys. Let's hear your list, or your list. This isn't really a list, is it? Tell me what you would put in the top and what you would put in the bottom. Just comment down below. Help my AdSense, for the love of God. If you enjoyed this, thumbsing one way or another, just give me a good old thumb. That helps with the YouTube algorithm. And if you want to see more stuff like this, that isn't stuff like this, if you found me at all appealing, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to know when I'm doing more stuff like this, click that notification bell. And if you're here by accident, Cody's video will be linked down below. So apologies. And a massive shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much. Without you guys, this channel, I wouldn't be able to get a lot of things done that I do get done. And you, if you're that interested, you can take part in the Scrediat army and join the Patreon, patreon.com/WILIscredia. have some exclusive content, some early content, vote on some other material that comes up in the future, and a bunch of other stuff, as well as a major way to support the channel. I feel dirty because I've just done a clickbaity thing, and I really like I counterproduced the clickbaity thing by not really changing anything about my cadence or demeanor or anything. I really should have played it up. I'm gonna have to call Sean and ask him how he does it, because yeah. Hope you had fun. Maybe we'll do more of these in the future. If these numbers resemble anything like Cody's been talking about, you'll see more of these in the future. I've been CP. You haven't.